Hi, I'm Guy Nearpaz. I'm CEO and founder of Totango, and I wanted to share with you today 10 leadership ideas to try out this week in your business to survive and thrive during COVID-19. All right, coming up, number one, segment your customers by COVID-19 exposure. So think about it like that. There are businesses that are just need to keep up with the demand. Companies like Zoom, Microsoft, On24, others that provide digital frameworks and services for people or businesses these days. And their business challenge is to keep up. You got companies that are exposed to markets that don't exist or don't exist for a while, like transportation or hospitality. And these companies will have a hard time overcoming these challenges, and hopefully they will. And with our help, they will. And there are companies that need to make the adaptation into the new way of working from home remotely, and so forth. So when you think about your business, think about your exposure. So segment each customer and give it a score, whether or not they're going to be benefiting from the situation, or they're going to suffer from the situation, or whether they're going to have to adopt. And the question is how quickly they're going to adopt into the situation. So think about this new segmentation. Go customer by customer before you make any cash preservation decision. Make sure that you look at your customer base, your contracts, and assess them one by one. And if you need technology to do that, Totango has a free offering for that. But if you don't have the technology, or you don't need technology, simply go one by one. That's the most important thing. Don't make broad stroke assumptions. Make sure that you cover one by one. Number two is send business continuity guidelines to your customers, and do it frequently, because the world is changing quickly. Customers want to understand how you are operating, and many businesses have changed the way they operate, and what are the services that you can provide. We wrote it down in the release of COVID-19 Success Block. We call this Customer Engagement Toolkit for COVID-19. You can check it out on the Totango website. I also recorded a video that you can see that talks about that. But the idea is basically communicate your business continuity plan to your customers and do it frequently. And if you haven't done this already, make sure that you do this week as soon as possible, so everyone understands how you are operating and what should they expect from your business during these times. The third one is get on the phone or on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Hangout, any channel with your key customers, and spend some time with them, and talk to them and figure out, communicate what you have to offer, communicate, learn from them what their challenges are, and keep close contact with your key customers. It's very, very important for you to know what your key customers are going through. It's very important for your customers to share with you and learn how you can serve them better. So I've done some of that last week. I plan to do a lot more of that this week. Just jump on Zoom and talk to key customers and figure out what can you do to help. I encourage you to distribute this task among your executive team, and make sure that you talk to as many people as possible. Increase the frequency of communication with customers. Create more options for customers to communicate with you. Office hours is a great opportunity for you to publish when you're available to talk to customers, so they can, from their home, they can log into your whatever media you decide to do it with, and jump on and be closer and connected to you as a business, so they understand how you operate into the new world of working from home, everything digital. Some things cannot be done right now. On-site work cannot be done. So how can you create on-site remote? How can you create this connection and communication framework to work really well? Use videos, much like I'm using right now. I think it's, although we're not all actors and we were not born to be in Hollywood, but it's authentic. It's in your voice. It's in your natural language. It's something that carries through your true self as a business. So office hours. So start publishing those. If you're interested in Totango office hours, just go to Totango website. We have under the resources section for publishing office hours, webinar opportunities, record the videos, demos, and so forth. So I highly encourage you to do so and just leverage this opportunity. Up until now, we've talked about assessing your business. That was the first one. We've talked about few communication, what you need to communicate, business continuity, get in touch with your key customers, and also create some group opportunities for customers to communicate. That represents a lot of change, and some companies might not have been doing this up until now. So this is the time to try, execute, try new things. You don't need to commit for a long-term program necessarily. If it works, great, keep on going. If it doesn't work, cancel it, do something else. But this is not the time to sit down and wait, because there's a lot of uncertainty. The most important thing is to take action right now. So try things out, optimize for speed versus elegancy, and just go and try things out and see how it works. So if it doesn't work, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Encourage this experimentation mindset within your team. I think it's very important to understand. I can see myself when I'm having meetings with my team. You can clearly see people are trying to figure out, are we going to go back to normal, or when are we going to go back to normal? So what we've got right now is the new normal, working from home remotely, using these digital channels. So think about how your world is changing. Think about how your employees' world is changing. Think about how your customer world is changing, and what do you do about this as a business? So I'd encourage you to try things out. Coming up at number 6, stay optimistic. This is the time to think outside of the box. It's an opportunity for all of us to really think about what are we going to do differently. But the most important thing is provide hope and optimism for your team. This is going to pass. This is not forever. And as much as we're hurting right now, and as much as there is fear and uncertainty, and there's no clarity of when this is going to be over, there's still things that are in our control, in our team's control. So I would highly encourage you to lead with optimism. I would highly encourage you to suggest to the team to think outside of the box. What can you do differently? What should you stop doing because it's just not effective? And what should you start doing to build value for your customers, build value for your team, build value for your business, short-term and long-term. So the next few, and this one is, what do you do with your organization, with your team? So my recommendation, more frequent communication, and in order not to overbear with meetings, just make those short. So if you meet frequently, you don't need long meetings. Just meet frequently and communicate. So weekly town hall meeting, highly recommend. It works for us at Totango. May work for you. You may want to try it out. Number 8, we also switched from weekly staff meeting to daily staff stand-up. So instead of a long meeting once a week, we are meeting every day for 15 to 30 minutes, making sure everyone has their finger on the pulse, figuring out what needs to be done next. It's not trivial, but at the same time, I can only see that it brings the team closer together. Coming up at number 9, share best practices. We're all in this together. There's so many things that we're learning for the first time. If you've got something to share, please do. Please do. Learn from your customers, see what they're doing, and share it with the rest of your customers. Learn from others in your industry and share it with your team. Learn from, what's the best way to run a business remotely, and share it with others. This is so critical right now. One of the things that we've done at Totango, we've been thinking about how can we communicate and deliver for our customers best practices in engaging with customers during this time. So fortunately enough, we have the technical capability in Totango, which is called Success Block. It's a digital asset capability to basically package those best practices, and it's available on Totango Success Block Marketplace for Totango customers. And if you don't have access to that, you could have it for free from Totango website. But the idea was packaging best practices to dealing with COVID-19 as a business. So, we kind of packaged 3 ideas. One is communicate business continuity to your customers, so they know what's your business continuity plan, what's your work hours, how do you operate these days, how did you change, what are you doing differently, and how can you support them. The second idea was promote your digital options. In many cases, customers engaging with you through one or a few channels, maybe they're not aware of all your digital options, your mobile products, your self-service portals, your knowledge base, your community, your social media channels, right? Promote all your digital channels so customers have ways to engage with you that they didn't know before. And the third one, go figure out customer by customer what's their situation and how can you help them, whether it's to keep up with the demand, if they are highly successful through these days and their services are in a high demand, or if they're adopting to a new realities, what are they changing and how can you help them and support them? So number 9 is very important. Best practices, we're all in this together, package them, publish them, do videos like this, share it with others, and make sure that you're helping the entire industry you're in, your entire ecosystem, to adapt to the new situation. So we talked about sharing best practices. Share as detailed as possible. Share templates, share copy, copy of emails, copy of website content, share desktop setup for working from home, share, working schedules, share meeting length, whatever you can share that is as specific as possible. Please share it with your customers, with your employees, with your ecosystem, so everyone can easily consume it and implement that, right? As fast as possible. And this is what we did with the COVID-19 Success Block template, right? This is the idea. It's out of the box. You just, modify this for your business and you implement this quickly, because, the best practices needs to be easily consumable and implement within minutes or, very short time frame. If you have other requests for best practices templates, please let us know in the comments below. And we're going to publish on Totango Resources many templates and best practices that relates to customer engagement, customer success best practices, the modification, transformation you need to do for your business today when it comes to engaging with your customers.
And last, coming up at number 10, lead from the front.
This is the time to lead from the front, expose yourself to your team. People are looking for leadership. This is, and I know that it's very difficult to lead in times of uncertainty because there's so many things that A, are out of our control, and B, we ourselves, we don't know, and we have families and we work from home, and, so everyone is kind of equal in the information that they've got. But as a leader, you have the expectation, or your team has the expectation that you're going to be optimistic and you're going to lead from the front. So do that. Highly recommend on doing so. So these are the 10 leadership ideas that you may want to implement this week, and I hope to see you soon. So thank you for joining.